So to this we're going to need to add about 1 3/4 cups of water or liquid. If you're using vegetables which have a higher liquid base, then you can cut down the water. If you're using more tomatoes in here or pumpkin in here, often it makes it a little more watery, so you can cut down on the water. But with just carrots and capsicums at this point, we'll use the full 1 3/4 cups. Pop the water in there. Whenever you're cooking rice in a pot, always make sure that there's not grains of rice sticking to the side of the pot, otherwise they're going to end up being raw in completion of your dish. So just tap any rice grains that are sticking there up on the side of the pot down. Whilst we're waiting for that to come to the boil, we'll just start off by getting the spices ready for this. So we'll just heat up our pan again. Little rice bran oil. You need probably a couple of tablespoons because you need to actually fry the spices to get the flavour to come completely out. So in here we're putting 1 1/2 teaspoons of cumin seeds, 1 teaspoon of mustard seeds, about 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, 1/2 teaspoon of garam masala, and we're going to use 2 sprigs of fresh curry leaves. These are really traditional from the southern part of India and they have a great flavour. They tend to need to be either roasted and pounded or fried lightly so they hold the colour and also let the flavour come out into the dish. It's important when you put the spices in, you need the pan to be quite hot so you hear the spices crackling away. So in goes the mustard seeds and the cumin seeds. As you can see, it's starting to crackle there straight away. And just after you hear them starting to pop, you can pop the curry leaves in. Often they give a little bit of a splatter. Just by doing this it helps to keep the colour of the leaves in there too. And followed by the garam masala, the turmeric. Shake. And then we pop that in with our rice. You can see the rice is just starting to come up to the boil now. So this time we'll give it a little bit of cracked pepper and salt. At this stage we can add some cauliflower. Cauliflower is an extremely nutritional vegetable packed with both vitamins and minerals, particularly vitamin C it's quite high in. We're getting quite a nice smell coming out from that now. Basically, once this has come to the boil, we just want to cover it, turn it down and leave it for about 15 minutes, then we'll add the beans, a couple more minutes and we'll add the broccoli, and then it'll basically be ready to serve. It's quite a simple dish. I'll just pop the lid on that one, and we'll turn that down to a low heat now. And that'll gently tick away for us. Okay, so our soup's still almost coming up to the boil there. We'll start off by next getting the spices ready for it. So this time we're going to dry roast the spices first. So here you just heat a pot basically, throw the spices in whole. Give them a good heat of roasting basically until you smell the flavour coming out of them. So once again, we'll always start with the whole spices because the powdered spices, if you put them in at the same time, they'll burn before the whole ones are ready. So here we've got our 1.5 teaspoons of cumin seeds, we've got 1 teaspoon of coriander seeds and 1 teaspoon of black mustard seeds. So into the pot they go. Same time we're going to be using our curry leaves once again. This time they'll be roasted and ground. We'll go for 2 sprigs of these. So you can hear that, the seeds are just starting to crackle now, and the flavour's being released from them. Never want to take them too far though, because the seeds will also burn relatively easy, and at that point they'll take on a bitter flavour. Then go the curry leaves. So we're just going to lightly cook these. As you can see, the leaf is quite a fresh one, it's a really fresh consistency. So what we want here is for the leaf to dry out a bit, otherwise when we grind it into the powder, it's going to be difficult to come into that powder form. Same time, we've got 3/4 cup of coconut. We're going to put a small amount, maybe a quarter of that in with the spices and grind it with the spices. The rest we'll toast separately and add to the soup also. Those leaves are just starting to crispen up. And as we're just finishing off here, while the heat's still in the pan, you can remove it from the heat. We'll add a small pinch of the asafoetida powder. Put in that remaining quarter of the 3/4 cup of coconut. Give that a little shake around. Find the coconut will toast relatively quickly. Now soup's just coming up to the boil here. So we'll just turn that down to a simmer. It's never particularly good to boil something rapidly for a long period of time.